Welcome to the Take Cover Podcast with your hosts, Jacob and Chase. Viewer discretion is advised.
Early edition of the Take Cover Podcast live at
4
o'clock. Tayvis, can you explain to everybody why we are wearing these sunglasses right now?
We're just trying to look cool and our future's bright,
We got that bright future ahead of us.
You know?
Every one of us in this room.
I don't know what it is about this backwards hat and sunglasses, but it makes me want to fucking dance.
Hey, bro, vibe it out, down with it.
This is our second podcast with Tayvis. First one was last year, and if you guys don't recognize him, you probably know him as the dancing man around Owensboro. Man, you get around. And it was funny because, I wanted to have you back on, but I called you your other number, and it wasn't the same number anymore. I was like, fuck, how can I can, it's probably just spam phone calls at this point, man. Okay, call back if it's for real, but I've been getting a million spam messages. Anyway, I wanted to have you on, but I didn't have your number anymore. And I'd seen you walking around town a couple times, and I went to pull over, and Bookham's like, no, you're going to, stop traffic or something. I was like, I just want to talk to him real quick. And so I seen you on my way to a job, and then it was like a block away from where you were.
Yeah.
I was working, and then I turned around, and you were walking down the road, and I was like, okay, it's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to be. So I ran across the street. I was like, Tayvis, what
Yeah.
And here we are, man. It's good to have you back in.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, part 2,
Hell yeah.
This one's going to be a lot better than compared to the first one.
Right. We don't have anyone sleeping in here.
No, we don't.
I've
We clearly don't,
some
and I hate
bang
that.
in here, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, bang it up, This one's going to be a good one.
Patch, bro.
Yeah.
All right. What have you been up to, man?
I just been chilling, taking care of family, still doing my thing out there, making beats, doing good on YouTube,
Hell yeah.
doing good on SoundCloud. The next step is Spotify.
That's the goal, huh?
Yeah, you gotta spread it. You gotta spread the love and
I hear
different
you.
platforms, man.
Yeah.
Just gotta, advertise, monetize your stuff, and grind, But mostly I just do it for the enjoyment, man. But something's gotta pay the bill,
Oh, I hear you.
But
I hear you.
Other than that, man, just enjoying life, despite the crisis that we're in, So,
Yeah. Yeah, you got to make the best of it,
Yeah.
especially this COVID-19 shit, man.
Man, I hate Corona, man. I call it Corona, you know what I mean?
Corona?
Like macaroni, you know what I'm talking about?
Corona and cheese, bro.
Corona. Hey, that sounds pretty good right now. Some macaroni and cheese.
I'm telling you. I just had that
some,
spicy chicken, man. It'd be good with some macaroni.
Hey, man, put some hot sauce on it, some pepper, man.
You talking my language now.
I'm telling you, man, it's good. You should try it.
Bro, speaking of gas station food, I've had nothing but gas station food today. This is a problem. This morning, I stopped at the 5-star out on 231.
Yeah.
And I got biscuits and gravy from there.
Oh, man.
Bro,
The 5-star has,
it was legit biscuits and gravy.
No, it's good.
It was fucking good.
it's good.
I was kind of surprised, for real. It looked good, so I gave it a shot, and they did not let me down.
If you haven't hit up the 5-star for food, which most people don't be hitting up the 5-star
Man.
or gas stations for food generally, but the 5-star is an exception. It's actually pretty darn good. I've been in there a couple times for the breakfast. Ooh, their breakfast sandwiches are top notch.
I
It
gotta
was not
try.
bad.
Hard to
I gotta
beat
try.
for gas station food.
Yeah, I gotta try rolling pin though, for real, man.
Oh,
Some
donuts
good-
for sure,
donut,
man. Oh yeah.
Sound
There's
good.
been a couple times I've stopped in there before work. But
Yeah.
I always see you can't relate because you're fucking tiny and you
Yeah.
walk and dance everywhere.
Yeah.
But for somebody like myself, a man of the larger nature, if I stop into rolling pin before work, I feel like the worst human on the face of the planet. I'm sitting in line already just hating myself, and then I get the donuts and I sit in my truck. And I'm like, oh, these are so good.
Yeah, you just-
and then I've got a very physically demanding job, so then I just feel like ass the rest of the day, just working off of nothing but sugar and carbs. Is what it is.
It is, yeah. So,
Y'all got anything fun coming up, man?
Well, like I said, shout out Frances Seaton. It's her birthday today. My lovely girlfriend. She turned
Happy birthday, Francis.
Happy birthday. Happy
And the
birthday.
reason we're early is because it's my stepmom's birthday, and I got to go to her birthday party. So it worked out today, being a little early.
Yeah, it did. It did work out. It did. So
It's a great opportunity, man. I like
Hell
it.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Nice in the Day is the earliest podcast we probably ever had.
Yeah.
I don't think
It was a rush too. I called you earlier. I was like, "Hey man, what time you get off?" You're like 3:30. I was like, "Let's do the podcast at 4 because I got places to be."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. So last week I was kind of telling you about like a car that I had my eyes on, right?
Oh,
and
yeah,
I kind
right.
of alluded to it on the show. So I kind of want to like wrap up that whole situation. So it was not a good situation. So basically, I was looking for a car. I had this video idea where I run Owensboro Off-Road, that logo there, the YouTube page, right? And so I had this idea of just taking like an old shitbox car, and I was gonna like run PVC straight up through the hood with an air filter on it, and like cut the fenders and the doors off of it, and put some stupid big tires on it, and just run it through mud holes until it died, just for fun. And so I was looking for a car, and I hit up my buddies, and Jesse Saw, she's been on the show many times. He's like, "Well, I've got my old Camry." He said, "You can just have it. The problem is that I already gave it to a guy, but he refuses to transfer it. So I told him he has until Friday to transfer it. If he doesn't, I'm going to come get it from him."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, cool. Just let me know what's going on." So Friday comes and goes. Sosh calls me. He said he never transferred it. He's not answering my phone calls. I'm going to go get the car tomorrow. I was like, "Sweet. Just let me know. I'll go get it from you. Whatever."
Yeah.
So I had my hopes up and everything, and then Sosh calls me. He's like, "Hey, just so you know, he's begging me to let him meet me Monday. So I'm gonna. This is his last shot though. So if it doesn't work out, I'll let you know." I was like, "Perfect." He calls me Monday. "Hey man, he met me down here. So it is what it is." I was like, "Yep, that's fine." And like honestly, I would rather the car have that fate of still being useful to someone
Instead
than
of a
to
toy.
meet its end. So that's fine. I just want like a shitty car that's barely running, And the other half of this was that I wanted to just put a roll bar loop in it and take it out to Windy Hollow and race it, at least for one race, and just because I've always wanted to, and I think it'd be fun, and then just destroy it at an off-road park. This was the whole goal, right?
Yeah.
So that car slipped through my fingers. No big deal. And I hit up my other buddy, and I'm like, "Hey man, you know any cars that I could get for cheap or free?" And he was like, "Yep, sure do. I'll take you out there to it." I was like, "Okay, great." It's an old like shitty Ford Taurus just sitting in the yard, and get out there, and I guess what happened, there was like at some point the pinch weld, the area the windshield sits on, was like badly deformed, so no one's gonna put a windshield in it until that's repaired. Well, instead of repairing it, the woman just got a new car instead. And so that one's just been sitting there. I was like, perfect. So I got there, look at it, measure it, good to go. I'm like, "Hey, so, like, are you just wanting it out of the yard? You just want it out of your way? You want some money for it? What are you wanting to do with it?" And she's like, "Oh, just get it out of the yard." I was like, "Well, that fucking works for me because free is the best kind of car, especially when you're just going to tear it up." So I wrote up a bill of sale. She signed it. I signed it. Witness signed it. Everything good. Well, it won't fit on my trailer, so we had to wait until the next day to go pick it up with a car hauler, right? So I'm super fucking excited. Finally got a car. I'm like calling, making plans to get a roll bar installed in it and shit like that. Well, then this girl's sister messages me, which is my buddy's girlfriend, and she's like trying to now negotiate money for the car, and saying that I fucked her sister out of this car. I was like,
okay.
I didn't fuck anybody out of anything. I asked her if she wanted any money for it, and she said just get it out of the yard, and then signed it over to me.
So it's mine now.
Yeah. So how are you not the owner of the car now messaging me an hour or two later to try to get money for something that's not yours? This doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
And so because it was my buddy's girl, I was trying to not be disrespectful about it. I was like, and I was still sitting beside him. I was like, "Hey man, this is your girl, so like I'm gonna handle this however you want because I respect him." And so he told me some shit, whatever, got it worked out, and it just started eating at me. Like it just started eating because she wanted $200 for the car.
Right, $200.
And it's not about the price of the car that was bothering me. So like $200 for a car is still dirt cheap. I mean, anybody would agree to that. You know what I mean? it's not that bothered me. It's just that when you do a deal, that's the deal. You don't get to sit and think about it and then message the person an hour or two later and try to renegotiate the deal on behalf of someone else. Like, that's not how men do a deal in particular.
It's not how most people do a deal.
And you already signed the car over.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it wasn't even the owner of the car, it was her sister. And that's what I was just, dude, I was mad, and I was just thinking, I was like, it just went against my morals, is all it was.
Yeah.
And so I sat on it, and it was just making me more and more mad, and I finally just messaged him. I was like, dude, don't even fucking worry about it. Like, I would rather pay $1,000 for a piece of shit car than pay $200 for that car at this point. It just killed me. So hopefully I will find another car soon. There's a ton on Marketplace of just old shit boxes, but there's only a couple races left in the season, so I might wait till next year to pick it up.
Save the money, you know.
Yeah, save the money while you can.
Yeah, so I got my cage coming up for the X3 soon, so that'll be fun.
Oh boy, you're always going wild with that dang thing.
Yeah,
Let it fly.
dude, it's been an eventful week for real. I've had a lot of fucking confrontations this week.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a confrontational kind of guy, so it doesn't really bother me. But I called you one morning. What morning was that?
Monday maybe.
Monday?
I think it might have been Monday.
I think you're right.
Maybe Monday or
maybe Friday.
Well, I was working, so.
No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday.
Yeah.
Or Friday. Either way, it doesn't matter. Well, so I was in my company vehicle, right?
Yeah.
And I'm eating a breakfast sandwich, just listening to my podcast, minding my own fucking business, going down North Green River Road in Evansville. And I stop at, before I got on North Green River, I was like on this side street. And I stop at a three-way stop, and this white Cadillac Escalade takes a left, and I get in behind him, right?
Yeah.
Well, we turn on the North Green River Road together, and I'm literally just oblivious to this at this point, because I'm just eating and minding my own business.
Yeah.
Start of a gorgeous freaking day. I'm happy-go-lucky, right? I pull up at a stop sign or at a stoplight, and this guy in that white Escalade pulls up beside me, and like I said, I still don't even notice him.
Yeah.
And out of the corner of my eye, I'm seeing him. He's like telling me to roll down my window. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, so I roll down my window, and he's like, hey. The back of your van, and I was like immediately I was like, oh shit, I left my van door open or something. Yeah. Nope. He goes on to say, hey, the back of your van says that you drive the speed limit. You know that, right? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you know you're not going the speed limit, right? And I had my cruise control set. Yeah. Like, I always drive with cruise on. Yeah. So I was like, is that literally why you wanted me to roll down my window this morning? and he was like, well, I'm just saying. And I started rolling up my window because I was like, I'm not even letting that fucking bullshit affect my day. Yeah. Well, we both know that's impossible for me to not let it affect my day. and so I was like, what the fuck? Well, who does that?
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, and so we start going, and he like flies up next to me again because there were some like cars that got in between us. He like flies up next to me, and he like makes the little phone hand sign. He's like, I'm gonna call. I was like, good, go do it. Like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? Who does this? What is it like? And so me being me, I've got nothing but time. Yeah. So I just follow the guy, and he's dropping his kid off at daycare. I was like, okay, so because you're an asshole, not only do I know the neighborhood you pulled out of, but now I know where your son goes to school too. And all because you wanted to be a dick to me for no fucking reason.
So people just start off the day on the wrong foot, and they just want to take it out on everybody else for no reason. They wake up, they got a headache, and they're just like, oh, I hate that person, I don't even know them. Nowadays, it gets worse and worse.
I still don't know his name. That was kind of my goal, to find his name out.
That's messed up.
He gets a little psychotic.
No, I go full ape shit when someone does something like that to me. The next day, I went to that neighborhood that he pulled out of,
course
and I was just kind of driving around, like seeing if I could find a white Escalade anywhere. I never did. I was kind of bummed. I was like, if I could find his address, I could probably pull up like the address on Google and find out who owns the house.
Oh no!
That way I could get his name at least.
Be like, hey, Todd.
Yeah, at least we wanted to message him on Facebook or something. But
say you're sorry.
I called Chase, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna call the daycare and just tell him that kid has coronavirus, so he has to take off work for 2 weeks.
That's terrible.
Obviously, I was playing, but
Just jokes here.
yeah, just jokes. Wink. I tried to wink, but my sunglasses are
Oh goodness.
Yeah. So I've been having an eventful week.
Yeah, it's good, man.
It's all good. It happens.
Do you, Tayvis, I gotta ask you, man, do you have any like sort of like people have any like road rage directed at you? Just like chilling, minding your own business? People ever like mess with you?
I mean, not really, but I mean, as far as like what's going on, people don't really know how to drive out here anymore. I mean, when someone's crossing a main road using the crosswalk, people don't really stop. They just fly through there. I'm like, dude, you got to look where you got to pay attention. Like maybe get off that phone or pay attention to the road or something. Just have some courtesy for people who are not in a car.
Right.
Whether they're on a bike, whether they're running, whether they're walking, whatever they're doing, have some courtesy, man. So, I mean, that just gets on my nerves. So people need to have respect when they're driving. So it's crazy. So.
How many times you almost been hit?
I mean, here multiple times. In Lexington, I've been almost hit by 2 police officers when I was walking.
No
to class.
shit?
Yeah, I'm being dead serious. I was using the crosswalk. Police officer was coming around the corner, not paying attention, and I had to jump on top of his police car to avoid him.
Oh, shit.
And I legitimately did it just to save myself.
Yeah.
And he was very oblivious of what was going on, and I jumped over it, or jumped on it, continued on my day, man. It was crazy. People just don't... They don't have no respect.
So distracted.
Yeah, that's wild.
People are so distracted. They never spend any time like paying attention to the road. They're on their phones, or they got some sort of screen, or they're talking to somebody or something. It's as bad as it's ever been. It's like drives me nuts, man. People don't care. Not for people walking anymore. That's not what they're watching and paying attention to. No. And like I try my best to like, you know, because like when I was younger, like I walked everywhere in this town. Like I walked and rode my bike everywhere. I didn't get my license until like I was like 18 or 19. So I just walked and rode everywhere. So like I got to see people just be like negligent and then almost cause me to get like into some sort of like accident, and then they're mad at me like I'm not supposed to be in the place where I'm not supposed to be coming off the sidewalk. I'm not supposed to whatever. And like one time I actually did get hit when I was in middle school. I did get hit by a car, but it was like a rolling stop, and he kind of bumped me, and I was coming back from the health park, and this guy just wasn't paying attention, rolled through a stop sign. He just rolled too far past the stop sign while I was walking, and he hit me, and it like popped me up a little bit into the air, and it was like I had my headphones in. I didn't even, because it was a stop sign. So I was already started walking. I saw the car coming. He just didn't stop. He like hit me, and like it just felt like somebody just tackled my legs out from underneath me. And I my lower back was on the hood of the car, and I slid off and kind of caught myself. And I was like the worst dead leg I've ever had in my life. Like so painful. And the guy, and I was, you know, I'm in middle school, so this dude is freaking out. Yeah. He's like, I just hit a kid with my car.
You're like, my neck. Yeah. My neck. $500 to make this go away. My neck.
That's crazy. Really, I at that point in time, I wasn't thinking maliciously like that. I was, you know, I was very shooken up, but I was like, oh, it's fine, dude. I'm totally good. Yeah. And I'm like limping away, and he's like, no, let me take you to the hospital. Come on, get in my car. And I'm like, I'm having some weird stranger danger vibes too, where I was just like, just keep going. My house is like a block away. I was like, no, it's fine. My house is right there. He's like, no, get in the car. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna walk.
I'm trying to ram you with my Corolla and my car.
Oh no. Yeah, and I just walked limped as fast as I could out of there, and like I didn't tell my dad, I didn't tell anybody, because like I was like, it's fine, my leg is just really bruised. And I looked at it the next day, like my whole thigh was like black, and not that it was broken because I walked home on it, and I didn't tell anybody, but like I was limping at school. One of the teachers noticed and like told like, I don't know, whoever cares, and the nurse was like, what happened to your leg? And I was like, I fell on it, and they were like, why are you lying to us? Like, you know, they can tell when kids are lying like right away. And I was like, wow, this car bumped me over here. They were like, was it by the school? Because like if you hit a kid in the school zone, boy, you're going to jail. And I was like, no, it was somewhere. I like defended this guy and everything. I never met him, didn't get his name or anything.
He said he was my uncle. He gave me candy.
Yeah, basically.
He had a great mustache. He said my butthole tasted like cotton.
See, this is why.
He was trying to touch me.
He called me his little tuna roll.
A little tuna roll. But yeah, that was just negligence on his part, because he just rolled past the stop sign. It's like, Just stop at a stop
Right into
sign.
a child.
Right into a child,
my
like
goodness.
11-year-old or something. I was like 11 or 12.
I mean, who hasn't hit a kid or two? Like, let's be honest.
That's more like hitting squirrels and rabbits.
You just keep going. You just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what was it? I totally lost my train of thought. Whatever. I was riding my bike one time and I almost got pretty much killed because they were going like 45 down a street that they had no business going 45 down. I was riding my bike to school and I don't know what it was, but I was like, I want to do some sort of like, I was trying to do some sort of trick on the bike. And if I didn't do that, attempt to do that trick, I would have just rolled right in front of that car and they would have just destroyed me. I was like, man,
shit.
there's too many times in my life like that where I'm just like, did I get lucky? Or is someone looking?
Bro,
down?
I'll tell you, I got lucky recently, like real recently.
Oh, yeah?
So the Friday before I was supposed to go on vacation, right? Last work day, I just finished my last job of the day. I was heading home. Couldn't wait to go on vacation, like super excited. And I've got my cruise control set on 60, okay? And I'm just going down this, like, it's straight as an arrow, this back road, and it connects to what is that highway that goes up when you cross the Blue Bridge and you go up to Rio? That highway? That's 66.
I think so.
I have no idea.
The one through Rio, or,
Yeah.
through if you go
From
right,
Owens
takes you
Road to
right-
Rio,
Yeah.
that highway. So I was on a county road that connects to that highway, right? It's straight as an arrow. Had my cruise set on 60, and I'm thinking I've got my mind on vacation, right? Like last job of the day is done, so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna check and see what time our plane takes off. And so I grab my phone, unlock that motherfucker, go to my email, check the flight itinerary, and I look up, and like in the time it took me to get to my email, check the time, and look up, there was a stop sign that was like I was passing as I looked up.
Oh no!
And not only was it just an intersection, but it was the intersection for the fucking highway.
Oh no!
Yeah, the one that semis are constantly going
Just
down, and
flying
that
through.
traffic is just constantly.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I locked up my brakes and I slid across that intersection sideways,
Oh no!
and I got to my van stopped on the other side of the intersection, and I was just shaking. Like I was just like I knew exactly what had just happened, and I was just fucking shaking. I threw my van in park. I got out, and I was just like pacing around, like trying to like calm down and take a breather. I was like, that was so fucking stupid. Like, I was beating myself up, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't even like get back in the van for like probably 10 or 15 minutes. Like
Just had to calm down.
yeah, like I
'Cause you're that
almost-
close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was just looking at the highway, and I just had my hands on my head, and I was like, that could have been it. Like
Yeah.
it was like if I got so fucking lucky, it's unreal.
Yeah, that's cars though, man. Like literally just existing
Yeah.
in traffic is so dangerous, but it's so commonplace that like it's whatever. If you die,
Yeah.
you die, I mean, thank goodness at least there's like good airbags these days and like
Yeah.
safety collision systems and shit like that. But
But imagine if I was, I had my cruise set on 60, so
Mm-hmm.
everybody going down that other highway is 62. So imagine if I had just got T-boned by a fucking semi, or
Done.
T-boned a semi, or any car really
Yeah.
both of us going 60 mile an hour in opposite directions. Like it wouldn't have been good.
no
It wouldn't
good
have been
results
good.
there.
Been ugly.
But that's why you gotta be. That's why you gotta live every day, man. You gotta live
Especially
it
when
up.
you're fucking dumb like me. Yeah, I got super lucky, man.
I feel like it was unexpected though, for real.
You never know when you're gonna catch a break, and you never know when you're gonna be the nail. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail,
Yeah.
and the storm always does come. So you can't always expect things to be rainbows and sunshine, but you just hope it's not that. You hope I hope it's just like a bad job or
Yeah.
something like that. Not the semi at 60 miles an hour coming through my door.
man.
And like on my way home, the day before I go on vacation, like that, it was just a combination of factors, man. It blew me away. I was like, I can't believe I just did that. That was fucking dumb.
Yeah, it really does make you rethink things, especially with cars, because if you're just walking around and like you're only moving so fast, but like cars nowadays, you can just full send and not even realize it. You can be going almost 100. You can be going 100 miles an hour and not even really realize it.
Yeah, especially new cars.
Yeah, newer cars for sure. They're just so floaty, but it just goes to show you got to like constantly pay attention. You can't be like on your phone, man. The only amount of time that I've spent on my phone in the car is like music wise, and so I normally just have it set up where it's like a shuffle playlist. So I'm not like, constantly looking down on my phone or anything like that. But like when it comes to like even like phone calls, like if I'm like good, like if I know that person, like I've talked to them lately and everything's good, I'm not gonna call them like right back on the phone. I'm just gonna get where I'm going and then I'll get on the phone. I don't like, I barely like texting as is, that like you can hardly get a response or a text out of me when I'm not driving. So good luck trying to get one out of me while I'm driving.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think shit like that though, like I get so like, especially me, because I drive 6 hours a day most days.
Oof.
So, I did 5 jobs today, and every single one of the drive times was an hour to get to it. So I drive so fucking much that like you just get comfortable driving. You just like you start to tune out. It kind of happens where you get someplace and then you're like, I don't really even remember the drive to get here. Like you just you're in your head or you're listening to music or you listen to podcasts or whatever.
Yep.
And it's easy to get comfortable behind the wheel. So like that was a bad thing that happened in the fact of I shouldn't have looked at my phone with my cruise control set while I'm driving on a county road. But it's a good thing in the sense of it renewed the danger of driving.
Without you dying.
Exactly.
Or hurting someone.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, everything has its upside, even the worst situations. But yeah, I mean, if anything, at least it renewed that sense of you could die if you don't fucking pay attention today.
Yeah,
so
like, seriously, or kill someone. That's the worst part. Like dying, whatever, you're dead, you don't care. But you kill somebody else, you got to live with that. And especially if you're sober and you're not doing anything malicious, you're just being negligent. And sometimes it's like you can be paying attention and stuff just happens. That's why it's most places are no fault and like. It's unavoidable, with cars going so fast and everybody trying to get everywhere so quickly and so fast that like nobody's really paying attention to each other. They're just so focused on the goal, and it's like our whole society is just go, get there as fast as you can, do this quick, faster phones, faster cars, faster everything, faster internet, technology. And it's just I'm just hoping that, like self-driving cars are around sooner than later so that we can just take the danger element out of driving around and like existing out in public with like people being, first of all, drunk driving's the worst, and then, negligent driving and people who just don't care at all. They're sober. They just don't give a shit.
Right. Man, speaking of killing people,
nice segue.
Have y'all seen that new doc, American Murder?
I have not.
The Family Next Door.
I haven't seen
Oh, it's about Chris Watts, the family man that killed his wife and 2 kids.
Oh,
It
yeah.
happened like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend you not see it. So you me, like I'm not a deeply like emotional person. I don't get tore up by a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And this tore me up.
Oh, really?
It all the way tore me up.
Yeah.
It had me all the feelings, and like my girlfriend, who is a deeply emotional person, like couldn't sleep. She cried for like 3 days.
Whoa.
Like it's hardcore.
Is it really well done, or is it just the story
well
itself?
done.
Yeah.
And here, like, a lot of people are protesting that like Netflix would even make it.
Yeah.
And the way that they decided to make it, because spoiler alert, not like I'm not going to give it away, but just talk about it. I know a lot of people get super fucking upset if you talk about something they haven't seen. But so they use footage like from the wife's Facebook account. Apparently she was it gave the impression that she was quite narcissistic, and she worked from home, and so I guess all she did was like vlog and upload it to Facebook. She'd go live all the time, so they had a lot of footage of her talking and stuff. And then it used a lot of body cam footage from the officers.
Oh.
And so like it started with the friend of the wife calling 911 saying, hey, I dropped my friend off at 3 a.m. last night and I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning. We talk every day and blah, blah, blah. Officer responds. Husband comes home and he's like, I don't know. We got into a fight last night, and he was just cool as a fucking cucumber. Like, I guess she left me and took the girls. I mean, the girls don't go anywhere without the blankets. And I mean, it was really weird.
Yeah.
And then the neighbor had a security camera, so they went over to watch the security camera. Nobody left or entered the house besides the husband, who backed his truck up to the garage, and he was like, "Oh, I was just unloading my tools," because he's a contractor. And so, like, slowly but surely, and you know how the fucking documentary ends, right? Like,
of course.
it's everybody heard about the story, so
Yeah.
and it's almost worse that you know how it ends, because you know how it ends, and you're watching this fucking monster try to deceive,
be around the kids,
and
be around
lies, and you can see like his wife was quite manipulative and quite belittling, and he was very much the kind of guy to just like, "Yes, honey, I'll get right on it," like quiet, just a yes man, and he went from like 245 pounds down to 180 and jacked, and it's like, you don't just do that for no reason. Like, you know what I mean?
Something's
like,
motivating you.
And when he did that, I told Brooklyn, I was like, he's cheating on her, which I didn't even know that about the story. You know, I just knew he killed his family. But, dude, yeah, it was super tragic. And I didn't even have like a problem with watching this guy that I know how it ends. I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem until the end, where the last sentence that is said, like audibly, because there's a lot of text messages between the two that come up on the screen every now and then, like as part of the doc. So the last line is Chris Watts in court, and I think it's his wife's dad, so his father-in-law, is asking like, did the girl suffer or anything like that? And he's walking through how he killed his daughters.
Oh, geez.
And the last line is he says, "I hear her voice every day saying, 'Daddy, no.'" Oof. And that was the last line. That was
that'll
said in
fucking
the doc.
haunt you.
And, and then it showed like the oil rigs that he stuffed his daughters into and stuff. And it was like a 9-inch opening.
Well, that's a fucking bummer.
Yeah, so like,
no.
it was a very well produced doc, but it will have you in all the feelings, bro.
It'll give you the chills.
Yeah.
In a lighter context, Jordan Rose said, "Tayvis, you still have to come to the radio station to teach me some of those moves." So you need to go head on over to Cromwell Radio Group over 97X and show Jordan how to get down, man. He's I don't know if he'll get back up, but he'll get down.
I can probably teach him how to walk on his hands if he's ready. You know?
Oh shit. He can do
clap
it
his
once.
feet, you know, like
I'm about to introduce that man to some good Mexican food.
Hey,
he is
I
under
love
the
me some
impression that he thinks he knows good Mexican food.
I love me some Mexican food.
So what's the best place in town?
I probably have to say Real Hacienda.
See, my dude, that's
My
what I'm
God,
talking about.
That goes hard.
That's
man,
what I'm
telling
talking
you.
about, man.
It's better than Papa Grande's. For real.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
way better than me ranchito. I said it.
No, y'all gotta try this new place called Don Mario's downtown.
I just went down
See,
there a couple weeks
everybody,
ago.
Don
everybody's
Mario's,
commenting
bro.
that too.
Yeah,
So
it's good.
I probably have to say Don Mario
I
ranked
haven't
number
ate
1,
there yet.
and then Real Hacienda number 2, and then Papa Grande number 3.
I don't even put Papa Grande in my top fucking 10. Like, I just don't eat there.
It's good.
I don't
eat
like
there no more
it.
either.
That's the
It's-
place that makes like guac at your table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't fuck with it. Right in front of Walmart.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with
There's
it.
one out on 54 too. So
Yeah. The one on 54 is cleaner. It's a brand new building,
But it
so
still sucks.
I don't mind it.
But it still sucks.
At least it's clean.
Yeah, it's clean.
At least it's
Yeah.
well.
Service is horrible.
I posted that picture of Real Haas on our Takeover podcast page, and I said best Mexican place in town. There I said it or something like that.
Yeah.
And it sparked some controversy for sure.
Yeah, people are
Yeah,
upset.
yeah.
They're passionate about their Mexican
I
food
know,
around
man.
here.
I figured it'd be a good post. I wanted to hear what everybody has to say.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of votes for me ranchito for that bland ass Mexican food, bro.
Yeah.
Some straight up white people Mexican food.
I'm like, what?
That's why people like it.
Yeah.
Simple, nothing to be
Like
afraid
the
of.
salsa tastes like ketchup, so of course you like it.
Man, bro, they could have did better than that for real.
They could do better than that for real.
Man, that's a disappointment for
They
real.
can.
I know, man.
My God.
Like at least, like I like chunky salsa.
Yeah.
And like so, Real Hacienda is very liquid, but at least it's spicy. And
Yeah,
I'm
spicy.
a big fan of
Yeah,
spicy.
yeah.
And no matter where I eat Mexican food, I always get the arroz con pollo.
Yeah.
And which is like anybody who hasn't had it, it's just like a plate of rice with
Yeah.
grilled chicken and then cheese on top. And I get that everywhere I go to eat Mexican. So Real Hacienda is the only place that like puts seasoning on their fucking food.
Yeah, it's not
and
bland.
it tastes super good. You go to Mi Ranchito and it's just all bland. Like I don't want bland chicken.
And also, the best thing about Real Hacienda is the owner is a fantastic dude,
Right.
And has shown his
free meals.
Yeah, pretty much.
Literally fed Owensboro when people were being laid off left and right, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do the right thing here, and instead of holding on to this food or trying to sell it at discount, he's like, I'm just gonna give it back to the community. And I was like, you know what? That makes you the best in town. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sorry, it doesn't even matter if your food's good or not. It's like you're
Which
good.
it is. It's the best in town.
it's pretty darn good.
Better than Papa Grande. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
still trash.
Don Mario's though, I went down
Yeah.
there.
Where's that at?
Downtown. Yeah,
right
it's
next to the riverfront.
Yep, right
Oh,
next to the
okay.
riverfront.
Yeah.
Across from
Mellow Mushroom.
yeah.
Mellow
Yep.
Mushroom.
So it's
Gotcha.
right in that little section there.
Where Bebop's used to be.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's pretty darn good, man.
It
Service
is,
was
man.
solid. Service was solid. Couldn't really ask for much more. I just got the street tacos. Want to see what they were about.
Oh yeah.
For Owensboro, pretty darn good, right down to the riverfront. It'd be cool if they stayed open a little bit later, so you can get all those drunk fellas stumbling out the bars and then
Heard that.
hook up with the Mexican food. But yeah,
How
it's-
open are they late? Or goddamn, I can't.
You're
talk
struggling today, man.
That was a Bang energy drink, bro. It was not liquor.
Bang bang.
yeah, the one time we're not drinking, you're stumbling over your
I
words
know,
and
man.
slurring.
Dude, the last time, so I was dragging ass. I had a long day today.
Yeah.
So I stopped to get a Bang energy drink and that chicken sandwich, whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, the last time I had a Bang energy drink, my heart would not calm down. It was like my heart was trying to beat out of my fucking chest for 6 hours.
Oh, geez.
So I was a little nervous, but I was like, I have to have a pick me up of some kind.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go in there and go to sleep like fucking DeAndre did last time you were
Yeah,
on.
yeah, that was so.
That was goofy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was goofy.
That'd be funny to come full circle like that.
Yeah.
Though. It's like
Circumference.
finally Tayvis gets back in here, and then
Yeah.
one of us falls right.
Of course, man.
Oh man, yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, y'all have to definitely check out Don Mario's. It's good down there.
I'll definitely go down. Like we fuck up some Mexican cuisine in Owensboro. Yeah, everybody's got their spot, but every spot's always busy.
Pretty much. I mean,
There's one spot across from my neighborhood on Frederick Street, like El Toucan or something.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And
not bad.
Brooklyn
Liquor store.
really likes their chips. She said they're really good chips,
It's
but
not bad.
I don't like it.
It's mid pack.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it tastes like mi ranchito. Like it's all just bland food. I hate unseasoned bland food, man.
yeah. Well,
Whatever. Some people like
I've been getting old Dakota Kendall. I recognize that picture from anywhere. What's up, Dakota? We're early today, man. It's
super early.
You're in here talking about food because none of us have eaten, or well, Jacob ate, but he's
Yeah.
still talking about food.
Fuck
You know
y'all.
he does.
I eat. Heard that.
But yeah, man. Ooh, there's so many good places around here.
Texas
I-
Roadhouse.
I-
Texas
like-
I seen you at Roadhouse the
Yeah,
other day.
Roadhouse, Texas
Yeah.
yeah,
The loaded fries at Roadhouse, man.
Yes.
I fuck with them.
God.
man. They draw a really good line between enough food and then quality food at the same time. In
Yes.
some places, it's really good, but there's just not enough of it.
Yeah.
Or there's too much of it and it's not any good. But they
Yeah.
always have the right amount. I mean, maybe their sides could have a little bit more I'm big on broccoli and stuff like that and
broccoli,
green beans.
trees,
So I'm like, come on, man.
The green beans are
just-
pretty good.
Yeah,
they're pretty good.
Oh,
for real.
yeah.
I mean, it goes hard.
Yeah, I'm huge Texas right. And the one here in town is apparently pretty good. People say it's one of the bigger ones in the country too. And I mean,
The
every
wait
time I
time
go in there,
fucking
it's a wait.
reflects that.
Yeah. It's nice in there, man. It's I always get good service. I never have any trouble, and the food always comes out the way I want to. And if it's not, they're on it. They're friggin' on it. And here in Owensboro, we were talking about that. I can't remember which podcast it was, but we're like, man, you get a handful of bad reviews and you're done in this town. People just stop showing up in masses.
We're
you know?
foodies,
Man,
bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because you know how many places just open up and maybe they have a couple of rough days starting out, and then people just start trashing them on Facebook, and they're just like, oh, I went there and the food was cold and the service was bad, and then it gets 1,000 likes and a few hundred shares, and they're like, well, don't ever go here again, or heaven forbid, some place has bugs or something like that, and then
Oh, no.
they spread the
Rallies.
picture. Yeah.
Ah, man.
Man, I don't know what okay, so I understand there's a lot of things going on in this world right now, but I need to get a petition started to bulldoze that Rallies and have something else built there. It can be a Rallies, I don't care. It's fine, but that building has to go.
Yeah.
It can't be there any longer. It's so disgusting and like
I'm afraid.
yeah, I mean
you know our electrician friend, right?
yeah.
He had to go in there and work on some outlet that wasn't working, and he said it was disgusting.
Oh, I could not.
It was disgusting, and this was like 8 months ago. So
Yeah, my God.
Kendall says whatever's being cooked in the kennel house, that's the good stuff. You smell me?
oh, dude, you're not wrong. Lauren can cook some fucking food now.
Can she?
Oh, dude, she makes the best pork chops.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
That sounds good.
Oh yeah. I used to call Kendall like, we all having for dinner tonight. And he'd be like, Lauren, can Jacob come over? me and Cox both, we'd have both have it over there, man. Get some dinner.
That's funny. Yeah, man. Nothing wrong with a good home cooked meal, man. Especially if you got a nice person, significant other that's good at cooking. That helps out too, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to do my part of cooking and not eating out so much, but it's tough when there's so many good food options and
Yeah.
like it's just like drive there, get the food, drive back. I'm right here next to Frederica.
Right.
It's so tempting, but like there's also like a different amount of satisfaction you get from like cooking your own meal, sitting down eating it. You're like, I made this and it's not terrible.
Especially meat. Like
Yeah.
when you cook meat and it is good, you're like, yeah, chef.
Yeah, shit. Yeah. When that sear is just right on them steaks, yeah, you feel.
Bro,
it,
I'm
you feel it.
so ready to put some deer meat in the freezer.
Oh yeah, man.
No, you're already tired of me talking about it.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
so fucking pumped,
well,
dude.
you got to find one first, Jacob. You can talk about it all you want.
It's on
Try
this
them
year,
goat
son.
meat, man.
It is on this year. I got 2 stands set up, 2 different locations, and both of them already have deer sign at them. So I'm very excited.
All
It's
right,
gonna
we'll
happen.
see, man.
It's gonna happen.
You'll have to pitch me a pound of that deer sausage at some
for
point.
let
sure.
it fly, man. Let
For
it
sure,
fly.
for sure.
It,
I can't wait to cook up some more backstrap, man.
Yeah.
ooh, yeah, you cooked at that one Christmas party you had and that stuff.
Yeah.
Woo-wee. That is, that backstrap is.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I cooked it. I cooked the last bit I had at a barbecue back when I lived with Zach, and gave it to everybody. And man, it was fucking good.
It's one of the
Ready
things
for
they
it.
got plenty of around here: deer meat and deer.
Yeah, yeah.
I never really run out of them. They're run out in front of every freaking car. I mean, that's probably the only way that I'd probably bag a deer is if I hit it with the Camry. Hey, it still counts.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit bigger of a deductible or some
Why
shit.
not? Yeah. Safety rating there for a reason.
Yeah, might as well. I got a whole year's worth of deer meat now. Oh goodness, shouldn't joke about that though. There's a serious problem with driving into deer, especially around these parts, especially this time of year as well. Once it starts to cool down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Well, we thought it was about to cool down, and then it was 90 degrees today. So
yeah, it was
literally.
not cool.
Might be that time of year again.
Yeah, we might get another month of summer until November, December. You honestly just never know around here. Either way, it's like let's just keep it rolling. Let's just go. Come
I
on.
might skip the winter, honestly. I mean,
that'd be great. I'd be down for
We
that.
skip too many of them. I think the world will fall apart, right?
That's
oh,
fine.
man.
That's fine.
More
It's
like
fine.
global warming.
And I remember 2 years ago, it was snowing and everything was covered in ice for deer season. And then last year, it was quite warm. I was just in like a layer of clothes. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah, global warming.
You just never know what the weather's going to be like. It's either really hot one year or really cold. And you know what? It scares me sometimes because, like, when we have, like, a really mild winter, I'm like, yeah, well, we asked for this. I mean,
Yeah.
So I think that.
prefer it.
What's that?
I prefer it.
I mean, yeah, if it's naturally that way, but if it's, like, a problem with the world falling apart, then I'm like, damn, that makes me sad. But you just never know. Like sometimes they'll say like, oh no, it's supposed to be this warm or it's this or it's that. I'm like, I don't know. I just know the weather around here is sporadic, crazy, and I can never plan anything this time of year because you're like, yeah, we'll have to get it done earlier in the year because later in the year the weather's real bad, and then next thing you know, it's swapped where when you want to get everything done, it rains for 2 months straight. And then in the wintertime, it's 68 and sunny and a nice little breeze.
Did you
and
check the forecast for this week?
What is it?
So it's, sunny and clear every day. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's going to rain.
Of course.
It's 70% chance of rain Saturday and Sunday.
Of course, on
And
the
then it goes
weekend.
right back to sunny and clear on Monday. Yeah.
That's 2020 in a
That's-
nutshell.
that's
We're
just
getting
a
beat
little-
on every level.
That's just a little fuck you for the Ohio Valley.
Can't have anything nice around
Crazy,
here.
man.
I swear, man. I'm gonna go riding this weekend. I haven't got to go riding in a long time, so that's my plan. Rain or shine, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well, That's what you got that big old thing for, to
Yes, sir.
ride around in the mud,
Yes,
out in
sir.
the mud, wherever you want to take
It'd
it.
be a lot
on your
more
bike.
fun in a Toyota Camry, but,
I don't know. You can borrow mine if you bring it back.
Yeah, exactly.
In mostly one
Usable
piece.
usable condition.
Drivable, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as the tires are still on, I like those tires.
Well, see, like I had to put a roll bar in it to race it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, well, if it's got a roll bar, I might as well roll it. So that was gonna be like the end. Like that's how I was gonna finish the video by just rolling it.
Yeah,
So
just
I think that would
rolling
be
it.
fun.
Yeah,
I've
that
never,
would be
I've
silly.
never flipped a car, so that'd be cool.
That'd be pretty wild. Have you
Yeah.
ever flipped your side by side?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember. us
Show
talking
have.
I'm sure that was kind
Wasn't
of.
even buckled up. That was great.
Oh man, was that in your X3s? You rode your X3?
I never, ever, ever flipped my Razor. As much crazy, wild shit as I did in that thing, I never flipped it. And then I got my X3 and flipped it like my 4th time ever driving it.
Can't blame you. That thing's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
Um,
On the X3 groups, man, that's like everybody is like, well, I joined the club today. And they'll post a picture of it upside down because that's just what people do. They get these X3s and they're super powerful and they just flip them. They are, because you get them and they just throw fucking roosts as soon as you smash the gas pedal. So the natural thing to want to do is just go in a circle and throw dirt everywhere because it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, they're not akin to that. Like they don't like to do it. And you feel like you'll never flip it because you sit in the floorboard. So you feel like there's a low center of gravity even though there's not.
It's just because you're lower.
It's just because you're lower in the machine. So you feel like, oh, this thing could do donuts all day, and you try to cut one and it flips. So
Ted said that Razor didn't have enough power to flip.
yeah, you're not wrong, Ted. I did some wild shit in that thing though. I do miss it from time to time.
Yeah.
I was telling, I had to use Zach's fucking Razor 900 Trail to go set my deer stand and stuff up.
You can't
Because my X3's too wide.
Yeah.
It's too wide. Like the crops are still in the field, and so to fit between the wood line and the crops, I needed something narrow. And also to get into the woods, I needed something narrow.
Yeah.
And so Zach's Razor is like 50 inches wide, and my X3 is like 64 inches wide. So it's a 2 foot or a foot and 2 inches wider.
Yeah.
And man, yeah, it makes all the difference. So I was driving Zach's Razor around, and I was like, I kind of miss having a Razor. And the only reason why is because it's not as nice. So like, if I could get the X3 motor and suspension and chassis and everything on a Razor, that'd be cool because the Razors, have all plastic on the sides that isn't painted. It's got like stickers on it, whereas the X3 is all painted and nice. But it's about to change anyway because, like I said, I'm getting a cage. I feel like these are all spam calls.
Just try it. I mean,
Okay. You're live on Take Cover. Hello, you're live on Take Cover Podcast.
Hi, sir. This is Jeff calling from American Senior Benefits. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm fine.
I told you it
Thank
wasn't
for
anybody.
asking, sir. So kind of you. Sir.
Are you at a
there is
party?
one of the short call. No, sir. I'm Jeff Wilson.
Well, yeah, I'm just asking if you're at a party. It's super loud in the background.
Oh, I'm really sorry for that, sir. Sir, the reason of
Is it
the
a strip
short
club?
call-
Where are you at?
Sir, the reason of the short call is to inform you about a new low-cost, state-regulated final expense program that has recently been approved in your state. Sir, to give you some more information and free quotes about this program.
Was that a bartender
may I know
asking
your
if you
age?
want another round? What is in the background, man?
Sir, there is a person talking next to me. I'm really sorry.
Oh, what's his
Sorry
name?
about that.
What's his name?
His name is Jesse.
Jesse? And your name's Jeff?
Yeah.
Does anyone work there that's not start with a J?
Yeah, there are so many J's.
There's so many J's. Is there any girls or is it all dudes?
Ted
I'm really sorry.
said that ain't no fucking Jeff Wilson.
I really need to hang this up.
Is,
Okay.
wait, do you work with anybody that's a little cute?
So, sir, I'm really sorry. I'm going to hang this up. Thank you for your time.
Hey, before you hang up, man, can you put me? Oh!
That's when you know you got him bad. When,
Yeah. When they hang up on you.
yeah, Ted said that ain't no fucking Jeff Wilson.
Yeah. That's Khabib.
That was silly. Oh, those poor guys don't know what they're getting into. We might as well just keep that a thing on the show.
Might as well
just keep letting them call in and just like. We've had some goofy ones call in for sure.
American senior benefits.
Oh, that's a little rude. I'm not even that old, brother.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, I'm 24 now. Just turned 24, and Brooklyn keeps telling me I'm basically 30, and it's hurting my feelings.
Just wait till you turn 30.
I did realize today, though, that I'm as close to 18 as I am to 30, and that does hurt my feelings.
Wow.
Yeah, doesn't that suck?
I'm closer to 30 now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that.
I'm closer to 18.
Well, enjoy the youthfulness as we must, because
I'm telling you,
every year seems like it goes by just a little bit quicker, man.
Man.
Like, and
2020.
yeah,
this year was just fucking wasted, man.
Yeah, I felt like everything got put on hold, and then it was just like, you know what, let's just pretend like this didn't happen, and now we just got to reset and just enjoy the end of the year. This New Year's Eve is probably going to be pretty wild and a lot of Corona transferring, but you know, whatever. We just got to make it out of 2020 and we'll be good. I think we just need a restart, a refresh. We've blown this one pretty quick. Lost a lot of good folk, and everything's just been so crazy.
I'm just ready for the election so that Corona will disappear.
Oh boy, don't start.
It's more political, in my opinion.
Yeah, see, I hear you. I
know. It's just, it's mind numbing at times where you just want to like, we're all human beings that can sit down and talk to each other 99% of the time. Like, most of the interactions that you have with like people are going to be like totally okay. Like, hello, how are you? I'm good. Nice talking to you. You walk away. 90, well, not 99, depending on where you live. It could be like 60 or 40, you know, but like.
Or if you're not going the speed limit down North Green River Road.
Yeah. Don't ever catch yourself doing that.
Yeah, don't ever fucking make that mistake again.
There's a man that patrols those roads. I'll tell you what. But, man.
What a dickhead.
I know it, man. It's crazy these days.
Crazy, man. It's insane.
We were talking about earlier where people just are so negligent when it comes to like driving cars, and you know how many people die in like automobile related fatalities every year, some sort of accident or something like that. It's insane, and it just takes a little bit of mental willpower to get yourself out of like 90% of situations. Like, people have just gotten so lazy that like even the small things like paying attention to the road or just paying attention to most things in your life is just slowly dwindling away, and like all your attention's now being redirected to some news feed or some this or some that's not any of your thoughts of your own. It's just somebody shooting ads down your throat or whatever it may be, and everybody's all mad.
Like that? Does it turn you on?
Depends on the ad.
Yeah.
But man, it drives me nuts because like I've had whole conversations with people where they stop it. I'm about to kick you out.
Ad?
It's
Is it one you can skip or one you got to watch all of?
It's like one of those YouTube ads, only like 5 seconds.
Yeah, 8 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, all right. But everybody seems so distracted that like dealing with people like almost becomes like a chore, where it's like there's so many people in this world nowadays that are like just completely neglecting social interaction, like myself.
I was about to say.
but hey, I go in waves here.
You do. We talked about that.
I go in waves, but like there's some people that there's some people I know that just never leave the house, never do anything, and anytime you invite them out, you just know they're going to say no, and you can just tell that they just don't want to do it, but they will literally never, ever do anything.
Those same people also get upset if you don't invite them. Like,
yeah,
because if you know they're going to say no, you just don't bother inviting them, and they're like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's
like,
the difference between me and those people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get invited. I'm like, well, that's because they knew I wasn't going to go.
That's because I wasn't going to go anyway.
Yeah, that's a big difference there. But I do notice that some people will get very, very mad. You know, they'll get very upset and personally offended if you don't invite them, even though they have no intention of going or participating whatsoever. People just want to feel included these days.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's the
exclusion
exclusion of it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. People want to be included. People want to like feel like, you know, they have sort of community around them. But like when you're like not even willing to like put yourself out there, like you can't really complain all that much, you know. especially if you're just not willing to do the simple stuff like get out of the house and go do something. And then those same people will sit inside all day festering on the internet, sharing articles and saying hateful things and just getting all political for no reason, jumping down people's throats. And
yeah, that shit's already started. I hear it at work. Like, man, I ain't getting into that.
It's like 2020 was bad enough. Let's not look, it's a personal choice. Leave it at that. You do you. I'll do me, and then let's move forward.
And if you're not voting for Joe, I'm killing you.
Yeah, it's just so crazy.
Dude, did you watch the debates though?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did y'all watch it?
It was funny.
Oh my
bro.
god.
It was like
isn't that goofy, dude?
It was like 3 dogs barking at each other.
Yeah,
It was fucking funny.
It was just silly because
my champion.
it was just so goofy. It was just so goofy because we knew it was going to be a shit show. Everybody knew it was going to be.
I really expected Biden to take the high road on it. That was the thing. I expected him to just let Trump bark and bark and bark, and him he did it a few times where he would just take a deep breath and sigh this guy still, and then he slowly got pulled into it. You see him getting more and more frustrated until he was like, you know what? That's a lie.
Yeah,
he's like, your son was dishonorably discharged for cocaine, and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, everybody knows that's how that was gonna go. It was gonna be one dude trying to get on another dude's nerves and see how long till that dude cracked. And
the moderator, man, the moderator. He
was struggling. He was really struggling. I don't know how you can get a handle on that besides having a mute button on him. Where you can just
have to have a mic cut off.
Yeah.
Because it did seem like he was pretty heavily skewed towards Biden.
Yeah, it's always like that though. It always
seem like that.
It always does seem like that. But it's whatever. They can do it somewhere else and have it skewed towards Trump or whatever. And does it really make anything any better? No. We all know how this works. We don't really want to know what they're doing behind closed doors. We just want, it's leave us alone and we'll leave you alone. Take your little bit out of our checks.
Little bit?
No, hold on.
No, fuck you. Take less.
Yeah. We want you to take less.
How about you get what I give?
We want it to be like that, but we know it'll never be like that unless things get really shitty. It would be nice
if they stopped taxing overtime. That would be cool.
That'd be cool, man. I feel like I could make some money.
Yeah, 40 hours was your fair share, and then anything else was just free. That would be cool.
There's just so many things that are taxed that are just crazy.
They tax your paycheck, and then they tax the things you buy with the remainder of your paycheck.
Well, not even just that. There's just more stuff like inheritance taxes. There's transfer taxes. There's all 50,000 different kinds of taxes, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's no wonder
They want their money.
Yeah. It's no wonder so many people get in trouble for tax evasion and stuff like that because it's damn near a foreign language trying to figure out who you need to pay. We're just lucky that it just comes out instead of being responsible to send it off every time. Dude, that would be a shit show.
Speaking of taxes, I thought it was fucking funny that the whole thing of Trump's tax returns got leaked and everybody's like, oh, he's not paying taxes. Did you think he was? Did you why would he not release his tax statements unless it looked like that?
Yeah. Oh, man.
This shit cracks me up.
We need to get a real candidate on the stage, old Joe Jorgensen. Get somebody reasonable,
it's
a
weird.
woman,
Yeah,
very well spoken, educated, not an asshole. I
think she's got a real chance, man.
Well, if people take her seriously, they should, there's no reason not to. If you're going to take Biden and Trump seriously, you can take Joe seriously.
I mean, Gary Johnson had a little bit of a following in the last election. But this is the most support I've ever seen for a third-party candidate.
Yeah, people are just so tired of.
Yeah.
They thought that maybe Trump would be the outsider coming in feel vote,
right? And
then they're like, oh wait, he's just another businessman and this and that, and then they're like, oh, they want to swing back the other way, but it's instead of swinging back and forth between both these things that none of us really agree on, let's try something actually completely different and really shake the system up. Because I'll tell you what, we've never had a libertarian party. We've never had anybody that wasn't Democrat or Republican. And if we did, they're not worth mentioning. So it's if not now, then when? And it's a woman.
Pretty sure Abraham Lincoln.
Was he? Was he independent?
It was a third party.
Deal?
Yeah.
Third party? I don't know.
I could be wrong. I probably am.
We're just saying stuff.
But fuck, what was I gonna say?
Somebody said Some Alec Clark said, "Wish Andrew Yang an opportunity to go further." I liked Andrew Yang a lot. He's a very well-educated guy. He cared about communities. He was very, like active in the campaign trail and everything. But like, he doesn't have that big media support that all of a sudden just glued to Joe Biden. Like what the heck's going on? Well, we know what's going on. But yeah, most third party since Lincoln, man. Yeah, okay, Ted. I guess
I really like Tulsi
yeah.
Gabbard.
Yeah, Tulsi's well educated too. It's just man, it just sucks because we've got a lot of things going on in the big picture, but then the small picture too. Like we just had Dracena in here not too long ago, and like we're like, oh yeah, like we're so busy focused on the big issues that we like forget like we're here in Owensboro right now, and we have issues to face here. And it's like it was really awesome to talk to him and figure out like there's people that come from the community that don't seem like they're adjacent to the community. Like there's some people that are politicians, they just seem like they don't exist in the public eye. Like you never see them like out congregating with people. They're only with a select few people that are like their buddies. But Dracena seems like such like a really honest dude and like somebody who just cares a lot, and you just don't see that in politics these days because politicians don't get into it to care about people. They want to make money. I get it.
Like what we should do? What? Instead of having these like elected fucking officials, it should just be like jury duty, where like every time there's a congressional meeting, like they pull however many state representatives there's supposed to be, that you just get a letter in the mail that you have to go to this congressional meeting, and then you just represent like yourself and your ideas from where you're from, because that's all our fucking representatives do anyway. Yeah,
but they're representing most of the time some corporation.
Exactly.
Somebody that doesn't, some big money rather than constituents. But that's how it's always been since, big corporations started to really turn into these basically nations with all sorts of money to throw around. And, oh, man, that's gross. You could go on for hours and hours about politics and how gross it is. No,
I'm kidding.
I'm just hoping, like I said, I'm just hoping for something a little bit different, hoping that people can come together on some sort of consensus instead of,
man, you got no other choice.
That's what I'm saying. Like we spent the past 4 years at each other's throats about I hate him,
love each other.
But yeah, it's not even like just at least find some common ground. Like you're not even trying. People just don't even try anymore, man. They don't. They just get in their own camps and then they unfollow, unfriend, unfollow, and then
they get in their feelings.
Yeah, they get in their feelings about stuff that doesn't even affect them.
No.
People are so bad about that these days. Like they see something on the internet and then they become attached to something on the internet, and then somebody says something about that thing on the internet and they're like, how dare you have an opinion on this thing on the internet that I care deeply about that I'll never see, interact with, or whatever. Some people are like that way about like sports teams. It's like, get over yourself, man. Like I love people who watch sports and say we when they're talking about the team that they support. They're like, yeah, we did this year, or we went to the playoffs, or we won the championship this year. And I'm like, oh, y'all did? You guys did together? Oh, where'd you ring at?
And along those lines, have you seen those? I thought it was fucking funny. I was going out Highway 81, and there's like a big campaign poster on the side of the road, and it says Team McConnell. Or Team Mitch or something. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, so we're not even hiding it anymore. We're just saying this is a team. Like you're on it or you're playing against it.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Those two things pull off each other.
Dude, have you seen the fucking Amy McGrath YouTube commercial?
Which one?
It's like a redneck dude leaning against his pickup truck in a white T-shirt with like a dip in, and he's like, yeah, I'm voting for President Trump, but I can't vote for Mitch McConnell. And I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? It was the most disrespectful redneck portrayal I've ever seen.
They do that shit, man.
I mean, it was the most fucking southern accent. Oh, God, it was funny.
So much money goes into, like, forcing something down other people's throats that it's like, why don't you just, like, tell like what you're actually doing instead of being like, this is what I'm like, I'm better. They suck. They did this, they did that. I'm better. That's all it is. It's like, can we give more time into like, who are you? What are you doing here? How did you get here? Like, you really don't know the backstories to most of these people.
Like, And yard signs always crack me the fuck up. Like, for local elections, I get it because you have to get your name out in the community for people to recognize your name and to understand that you're running.
Yeah.
But for the presidential election, everyone knows who's running. Like, everyone in the fucking country knows. Everyone in foreign countries knows. You know, like, it's a big fucking deal. So it always cracks me up when I just go down the road and I see Trump for 2020, keep America great, Biden united, and like just presidential sign after president. And I'm like, who drives down the road going, oh fuck, I'm gonna vote for him now. Oh wait, never mind. Oh wait, never mind. Like, no one changes their mind based on a yard sign. I don't know.
Those undecided voters,
right? I don't understand why those are a thing. Like, why do you have a yard sign for a presidential candidate?
I noticed that, like, I talked to some people about like who they voted for, like, locally, and that was the case. Like you said, like, you try to get your name out there locally, people see the name and they're like, okay, when they go to vote, it's like, I don't know any of the other names, but I did see his name on a poster.
I did that for Nick Burlew for real.
Yeah, well, I mean,
last election.
It's so tough, especially locally, because with the national stuff, like, it's all over the news. They talk about these people nonstop. People you'll never meet, whatever, yada, yada. But locally, it's, like, really, really hard, even though we have, like, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all these different things to communicate with, like, politicians and local leaders that you feel like they should be doing more. You know, they should be even more transparent.
They should be more accessible.
Yeah, it really does seem like it's tough to like relate to some local leaders if they don't like do those sorts of things. Like I get doing like town halls and things like, and forums and stuff like that, but like just being a human being in the community is enough most of the time. Like, just like if you went down to Friday After 5 and you saw I don't know, one of the commissioners or whoever down there, they were just hanging out, having a good time, talking to people, just talking to whoever, had a couple drinks, just having a good time, you'd be like, that's a cool dude. I don't mind voting for him. He seems like a solid fellow. Yeah. Or if you go to some like town hall debate, they're like, I'm going to make Owensboro the best city in Kentucky. It's like, yeah, that's just a speech and everything, man. Like, that's just fake. You just wrote that down. Is that really real? You know?
Somebody was running for some local office or whatever, and they made a post, and the picture with the post was like this super fucking classical, like traditional family picture. And I was like, ew. Like, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, the two happy parents in the middle and the kids on each side, and I was just like, quit it.
Stop it.
Yeah. They try so hard to like seem perfect. Like in the interviews, in the little snippets that they do, and like I saw one, and not to cast any shade, but it was like, was it Larry Condor or something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
know
either.
Well, he's running for commissioner or something like that. I couldn't even. He ran an ad that was a really nice, pleasant ad, but it was like it cut to some guy sitting on a fence, and he was like, he was an older fella, and he said, I've known so and so for this many years, and he's a good guy. I trust him. And then that was the end of the commercial. I'm like,
okay,
could you just not like have the like guy like for free go out into the community and do that,
right?
Like, you know, instead of like setting up the shot and everything and then paying money for it and getting people to act like, oh, come on, man. Like, there's a different way in this age to communicate with people on a personal level that you couldn't before, like with like FaceTime and using social media as a way to like directly connect instead of having like so many different buffers, like, well, you got to submit a question to here and then the question goes to this and then somebody at the forum may ask it. It's like, yo, when like a podcast here in Owensboro, can have live questions rolling in, live callers coming in, and we can real time answer them and reply to them and stuff like that. Even though I know I'm terrible at it sometimes, I'm sorry. But stuff like that, it's like, why is that not more commonplace? Like, why don't we have more of that? Like, not just at the local level, but all the way up.
Because
like,
it's work.
Yeah.
Because it's work.
People don't want to put in the work.
Yeah.
and they would get tripped up by questions being asked because they're
would
like,
look weak.
oh, well, because BP wanted me to, I guess.
Man, there was, I can't remember what it was. I think it was that Bill Maher documentary where one of the congressmen, I can't remember what state he was from, but it was one of the southern states, and he said, yeah, they don't make you take an IQ test to be a congressman. And and the way that he laughed about it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
you're like not the kind of laugh that you as a person in authority should be laughing like
Yikes.
about an IQ
That's
test.
fake laughter.
Yeah, yep. It was just like, oh
Definitely
man,
fake,
I do
for
not,
real.
I do not like that at all.
Not
But that's how it is when it comes from, a generation before us. All these
Yeah.
politicians and a generation before us that have an idea of the world and the way that it is. And I get it. There is a changing of the guard that takes place as we get older, and that things will eventually move towards a way that agrees more with our generation's standpoints and beliefs. But man, getting there has been tough because boomers, millennials, and Gen Zs, Gen Ys, and everybody, we're all at each other's throats because we're all going through different like all different sorts of like bad times, like like the millennials and everybody younger than us is like dealing with like all these different issues that like people 2 or 3 generations ago would have never expected becoming an issue.
Yeah.
Like kids growing up with social media and stuff like that, and just it's funny to see that dynamic between like the baby boomers, the Generation X or Y or whatever it is, and then
All
the
of them.
millennials, and then just this coming generation too that's very pessimistic about the world and like very like consumed by memes. Like I remember a point in my life where there were not really there was memes, but we didn't share them like we share memes now. Like memes are like a weird thing that's just flown into the zeitgeist. That's just like, whoa, what is this? And it's just funny pictures that can also go super viral and everybody in the world will see them. And
it's so weird looking back at like what memes used to be and
what they are now.
What they are now. Like we thought those were so fucking funny, but if you've seen one today, you'd be like, okay, like it wouldn't be funny at all. But nowadays memes are like, they're so much more complex, and some of them don't even make fucking sense, but they're funny.
But they're funny. What?
Oh wow! Somebody said they were waiting on a group of firemen, their server, and a politician came in, and he basically ran to the fireman's table for a photo op, but didn't talk to anybody else. So they were looking for brownie points. See, it's stuff like that where you're just like, man, you're being straight fake. Like, it's one thing if you show up and you're talking to everybody and real friendly. Yeah. It's another thing to walk in there like, oh, there's a group of firefighters. Let me get a picture with them, and everybody else trying to talk to you. Like, I know you don't serve me like in a way that that can help me right now.
Messed up, bro.
It is, man. That's
messed up.
It's gross,
That's how you
but
know they're fake, bro.
yeah.
Who was it?
I don't know.
Did you say?
No, I didn't say the particular politicians, but probably someone local. It's kind of awkward,
Probably.
It's a small town, and when you do stuff like that, people notice. And it's the same thing with food as it is with people. If people find out that you're a shitty person and you're a real shitty person, people find out quick, and they take to social media with their pitchforks, man. The Nazi outfit guy from Halloween a couple years ago.
That was wild.
And that blew up. That went, super viral. People, I think they were talking about it on Joe Rogan.
That went national.
Yeah, it was huge. And you see stuff like that, and it makes you think, okay, well, I shouldn't be acting stupid then either. I should be
dress up as Nazis this year so we can get some publicity.
No, thank you. I would never do that in a million years. I've always thought about because we got Halloween coming up, and got to be thinking about costumes and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, where's the line anymore with costumes? Because costumes are meant to poke fun at scary, evil, bad things, and then kind of twist them in kind of funnier, playful light. Because you'll see people.
We're gonna both do blackface this year.
Gosh, man, I don't want the trouble. No, I don't. You see stuff like people dress up as I remember for a few years, people were like, everybody was Osama bin Laden. And the year he died, everybody was Osama bin Laden.
Right.
They were just trying to be cool and everything like that. And then it's like, the kids will always have a handful of movies that they're always going to dress up as.
There's always going to be an Elsa.
Yeah, some sort of Disney movie that comes out that's got everybody's attention at the time. But it's always weird because every year it seems like they get a little bit more strict on what you can do for Halloween and what's going to offend people or whatever. And I don't really care because it's like a holiday, and I don't ever want to dress up.
I don't give a fuck at all. You can dress up whatever you want to dress up as. The whole point is to dress up as something you're not.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
It seems strange that anyone would be offended at any Halloween costume.
It's just a weird thing between actually being offensive, cancel culture, and then people actually being bad, racist assholes. Like that, those people do exist. They are around.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that sometimes those lines get blurred, and people, especially around a holiday where we're supposed to be doing,
people just look for reasons to be mad anymore, man.
Yeah, especially stuff like that where, like I said, it's a holiday where it's.
You know what we should do?
Oh no! Don't.
We should do.
These ideas are killing me, man.
we should do a skit where on Halloween we just walk around and I will anybody that's wearing a costume, I will find a reason for it to be offensive.
Oh no!
Like we just walk around like somebody's like dressed as a banana. Like, sir, I just want you to know that this costume is very offensive. I am.
That's very phallic for a child to be wearing. You should take that off of him.
That is very offensive. I am strict carnivore, and I just want you to know that.
Dude, we should do that. That would be so funny.
Yeah, I'll do it for sure.
Just absurdity, because anybody that knows you knows that it's like knows that you literally give two shits about it, but it's just funny because you never know what you'll see out there.
Nope.
Every now and then you'll see something that you're like, I don't know, maybe you probably shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, it's a holiday where you're supposed to dress up as something that you're not, and be a little goofy, try to scare people and trick people. The slogan is trick or treat. I mean, come on now. I'm trying to trick you or treat you, which is
not heil or treat.
Yeah. Oh, no.
He got a little confused. That's all it was.
He got a little
confused.
Well, didn't he dress his child up like Hitler? That was the real gross part about it.
No. So apparently they done it in the past, and it wasn't like he was an actual Nazi. I don't know. I can't really remember the whole context behind it, but and that's the point of it blowing up is that no one cares about the context around it. You dressed up as a Nazi, and apparently now that's unforgivable.
Yeah,
which is strange because there's musicals and shit all the time where people dress up as Nazis. It's not like he was just downtown on a random day dressed as a Nazi yelling anti-Semitic language.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a weird line. You could literally choose to be offended at anything. Granted, some things easier than others, like dressing up as a Nazi. But I don't know. I think the more we go down this road, the worse it's gonna be. Yeah. We have it too easy. I've said it a million times. Yeah. The easier we have it, the more we care about shit we shouldn't be caring about.
That's true.
And we've seen it a lot with coronavirus now, is that the headlines have shifted a lot away from the smaller issues and now towards a big issue, which is a global pandemic. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot less of this small shit popping up of little fucking jabs here or there towards people who are just minding their own business.
Yep.
I don't know. It's weird.
This is just the world that we live in now, and it's constantly changing so much that we're trying to get acquainted with it. Okay, all right. I think I understand, and then on its head. And 2020 has been that to a T for everybody. Everybody. We've never, our generation obviously has never been through anything like this, and it's been a true test. There's been a lot of issues. There's been a lot of trouble. There's been a lot of good things come out of it. It's a matter of balancing it and focusing on the good shit whenever things are good, because for the most part we're all good. We're good. We're healthy. We get to eat. We're not starving. Sometimes days may suck where maybe I didn't get to eat, or maybe something came up and I'm having a shitty day, this or that. But at the end of the day, it's we're good. We're good. We live in America, which, have your qualms with it if you may, but you can walk down the street, you can exist, especially in a town like this, even though people are worried about crime getting worse, but, all things considered, you can go to a gas station and get gas and buy your snacks and look for a job and find you a job. You can start a business from scratch if you want to, like you said, people do take a lot of stuff for granted, and it is a bummer to see, because there's so much more productive things people could be doing with their time, other than complaining at their fellow man. I don't like your shirt. I don't think you should wear Nike. I don't think you should wear your own shirts because that's just blah, blah, blah. Come on.
Yeah.
You could literally go on forever. Yeah, you could literally go on forever nitpicking at things to be offended or bothered by.
Our generation is so caught up in that their feelings matter. And it seriously aggravates the shit out of me. And it's not that your feelings are wrong. It's that those are your feelings. Okay,
Exactly.
like what I said was not intended to hurt your feelings. If that's the way you perceived what I said, then that's on you, homeboy.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking, like, I don't have to care about what your feelings are about what I said or did or anything. Like, being, like, I can't say any better than just being offended requires you to be offended.
Yeah.
It requires you to make the choice to be offended at it.
Yeah. Because you can, I mean, there's some people I know that nothing bothers them. They are in their own lane. It is in another dimension that nobody can get to. They're just in their own lane. Doesn't matter, what it is or what comes up. They're like, this is what I'm focused on. That's cool, whatever. But they're singularly focused on some sort of goal. And like, we're so split minded and so jumpy and giddy and go in so many different directions that it's so easy to get offended by things. I mean, and so many people have so many different small little opinions on things that don't affect them. And they hold those opinions so tightly that they're basically just playing a game. And some people get so caught up in those games that they forget that they're playing a game. I mean, it is, when you're jousting back and forth with somebody on the internet, it's like, this is a game, man. I'm never going to see that person. We're not acting like we would in real life. We wouldn't talk like this in real life. We wouldn't interact like this in real life. This is just a game. This is a video game.
Like, everybody our age has just been brought up in this, like, culture of, oh, you hurt their feelings, say you're sorry. And so I feel like that's just gone to everyone's head. We're like, oh, you hurt my feelings, now you have to be sorry. Like, we're children. Like, no, I fucking don't.
That's part of life is most people are not sorry about hurting your feelings.
Grow the fuck up.
Yep.
You're an adult. Handle those feelings the way you see fit, but don't require action from another person because you are perceiving it the way that hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
Like, intent is such a big factor behind a lot of things that no one takes it into account.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I see it this way, and I had my feelings hurt, so you now need to apologize. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not
we
how
would
it
never
works.
have comedy, or we would never have any sort of like good movies or any
Yeah.
art would be destroyed. If you couldn't offend people, art would be destroyed. Nothing would be able to get done because literally having an opinion or doing something towards a goal takes that goal away from other people. So in a way, you're offending other people by taking away that goal from them. Like, this is not fair. You're taking the goal from me, and what are you going to do, man? You can sit here and be offended and be upset about things, or you can be like, all right, these are things that I like, I don't like, whatever it is. These are things I hold personally myself, but how they conduct themselves legally within the law and all that good stuff is fine. But for me, I just need to be in my lane and conduct myself in a way that's not, like those beliefs or like those views or like that, what that comedian said or what this person said. I'm not like that. So just don't be like that. You don't have to require that person to be destroyed in order to get on with your life. I mean, I get it. If somebody hurts your feelings or whatever, you can say your piece, say, hey, that bothered me, but you're in no way,
But also, if you're the kind of person that, like, you go through your everyday life and every single day you find your feelings being hurt about something, like, it's you.
Yeah.
It's you at that point. You are choosing to be victimized by other people's words. And, like, it just aggravates, because I know so many people like that are just like, they choose to be the victim of other people on a daily basis. It's like, don't make that choice. You can literally choose to stop being offended at everything that's said to you.
Yeah.
You can choose to stop taking things personally and move on.
Yeah. I mean, Tayvis, man, you've like been in your own lane for a while, man. Like I like the first time I met you, I was like, this dude is in his own lane. He focuses on the people he cares about. Shit just seems to just brush you by the wayside. Was that just something that you just have always been that way, or did you just like work at that where you just would remind yourself like, look, these things don't matter to me and this does?
Well, I want to start off by saying that people come and go when you're popping, but when you're failing, nobody's there. So I'm going to take an example of Kentucky basketball, for example. So whenever they win a game, everybody all over them. But when they lose, everybody in their feelings and nobody says nothing. And as far as me being known for what I do, it's good and all that, but I'm like, who's really besides you at the end of the day, besides yourself, And the fact that me as an African American, don't mean to be like racial here, but I go through a lot, or we go through a lot as far as like what do we look like or how we do things. And for me, it's a mental thing because I'm constantly thinking about that. But at the same time, I'm staying focused on my dream, and that's to make a career of what I'm doing, and that's making music and performing, which I love to do, and I do it for the enjoyment, you know. I don't do it for clout. I don't do it for the attention. I don't do it for money. Now, if I want money, I'm going to go work for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go put up a fence. I'm going to cut somebody's grass. I'm going to rake some leaves. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the money that I need so that way I can meet my needs and wants, you know. And I want people to know that I have an identity. I'm not just that guy that's always out there listening to music. Like, I like to take care of family. I like to help other people. Whether I know you or not, I want to help you out, you know. Whether with money or not, I'm going to help you out because it's just me. It's my, you know, identity. Like, I want people to feel good about what they like to feel good about, you know, because that's what I'm all about. I'm all about helping people, telling people what they need to do to resolve the situation that they're going through. And if they take it, they take it. If they don't, I did my job by, you know.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah, that's all you can only do so much with people. You can't force them to do this, do that, because, you know.
Yeah, all you can do is try to help inform the decision, and ultimately that's their life.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of gives you an idea of who's really real and who's fake, you know, whether they want the help or not. So
you said you want to make a career of what you're doing. Like what? So like, kind of, what is your goal? Like, what are you striving to get towards?
So as far as like making music and performing, I want to have my own studio in Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach. Wow, that spot.
It's very peaceful. I know some people there. I made some connections with them as far as, you know, the music department. And the crime rate there is very low. I did a lot of research on it. It's very peaceful there. And despite the cost of living, it's a little high, but...
Well, it's a beach town.
Yeah.
Right.
But other than that, man, I mean, I could make a lot more moves there than I would here in Owensboro.
Yeah.
You know?
You know who you should link up with? Stephen Clark.
Yeah, I actually talked to him today at a Starbucks on Frederica Street.
Yeah.
And he was asking me how I was doing. I was telling him I'm just out here hustling, making money, trying to, you know, make a name for myself and actually do something with my life, you know.
Y'all should do some shit together, though. Y'all should collab.
Yeah, I mean, I try to, you know, remind him, and he said, you know, he's got a lot in his way right now as far as teaching.
He's a busy dude.
Yeah, he's a busy person. So I was telling him, whenever you can, man, just let me know, and we'll get down with it. Because I'm serious about that stuff, so.
Right.
So.
Yeah. He's always doing something, too. Like, I mean, he talks about that on his channels all the time, too, is like, you know, like, keep yourself busy, you know, work towards your goals and stuff like that. And, you know, you can tell being around those sorts of people, you know, if they're goal orientated or if they're somebody who's like scatterbrained and worried about stuff. Within about 10 to 15 minutes, you find out. People pretty much tell you in the first 10 to 15 minutes of meeting them whether or not they're somebody who's focused on their goals or they're focused on everything else around them rather than things they care about. You know, they say a handful of things that tell you that their focus, their radars are pointed at other things other than their goals, and it is what it is. And you can help those people sometimes, but like you said, if people don't want to, if they don't want to be helped, you can't
do so much.
Yeah, man.
I'm saying,
that's the human.
I don't know how good advice it'd be because I don't know if it'll be banned permanently soon or not. But like, I feel like you should have a TikTok and you just make videos around town like dancing. I feel like that'd be super popular.
I actually have a TikTok account. Like,
oh, you do?
Yeah, I already made some videos on there. It's just, you know, it's hard to get discovered on there because so many people. It's
flooded, yeah.
Yeah, it's flooded. Like, everybody's doing the same thing. And me, I'm all about originality. I like to do stuff my own way because if you're true to yourself, good things will come to you. Now, not right off the bat, but later in life, things start to, you know, come in and you start getting discovered that way. But since everybody's doing the same thing and trending on this, it's kind of hard to get discovered by originality. It's like me, I'm like, does originality even exist anymore in this world? Like,
well, the whole thing is trends, right?
Yeah.
So by definition, no, because everyone just wants, you know, like the whole thing with TikTok is dancing the same dance challenges or lip syncing things that have already been said.
And I hate that. I hate that so much. I'm like, dude, if you want to be discovered, stay true to yourself. Stop trying to be like somebody else because you're working twice as hard that you don't need to.
Right.
And that irks me so much. And I hate when people do that. People get discovered by doing the dumbest stuff that I can't even imagine. Like jumping off buildings or hurting themselves. Or I'm like, dude, why can't you just stay to yourself, man? Mm-hmm. But when you try to be original, nobody looks at it. I'm like, why is this world so backwards when it comes to that stuff? Like, seriously, man. Like,
it is weird, man. It's like people, even knowing something may be fake or artificial, they still kind of buy into it because it's like the herd mentality of like, well, everybody else is doing it, so I should like it, right?
Yeah.
You know, like if all your friends say this movie's good and you didn't really like it, you'd be like, yeah, I guess it was a good movie, you know, and even though you don't think it was a good movie, but you want to feel fun and cool with your friends. And like, in a way, like, a lot of these social media apps like that are really kind of geared towards that. Like I've seen so many different things blow up on like TikTok or Vine or whatever it may be. Whatever.
Dude, I missed the Vine.
Yeah,
I miss Vine
that was
too,
the
man.
shit.
They need to bring that back.
Whatever social media video service or audio sharing service that exists that people are flocking to at the time, like. You see so many people that got super rich off YouTube. You see so many people that got extremely rich off of like TikTok, Vine. I've seen some Vine people that blew way up. They have like millions of subscribers on all these different platforms now. And, you know, like you said, a lot of it, those people get their roots from like something that wasn't necessarily original. It was some sort of cop out and they just build and build on top of other things, which, I mean, I get it. A lot of artists do that to an extent where it's an okay extent where you can be original, but then you take inspiration from things and then you turn that into a flavor of your own. Cause it's like impossible to be original on like say like, for example, like acoustic guitar, you're not going to play any new chords that somebody hasn't heard before. And if you are, they don't sound good. You know, like everybody's played this song or everybody's played this, everybody's heard this. It's, you know, especially with music, it's so hard to be original in music because we've been making music for so long, but there's so many different notes. You can try anything you want, complete freedom, and come up with something that has you in it and then your biggest influencers, you know, like, I mean, it's not easy to do. And I think that's why people fall that route of, let me just do what everybody else is doing and try and get noticed because it's easy. That's the easy way because you already see the path that's already laid out there instead of, okay, this is going to be a lot harder because I have to come up with everything from scratch or everything from my knowledge and not just pulling from what's in the mainstream or what's in the zeitgeist or whatever everybody's looking at now. And it's super hard to do that nowadays because people are creating like crazy and pumping stuff out. And it's like you may do something that you came up with on your own, that you didn't take the idea from somebody, you didn't steal this or take that, and somebody has done something. There's so many people that they've done something very, very similar to that, and they're like, oh, well, you stole it from them. And then it just becomes a whole furball, and it's just trouble at that point. But, man, yeah, I think you're on the right path when it comes to that. You can't – that's a big, you know, point for this show, too, is that these conversations, like, are always supposed to be somewhat organic rather than being – predetermined. Interviewers ask these questions. Interviewers say this. And it's like, we did that, and that sucked. We didn't like that.
You just got to be yourself, do what makes you happy, and be consistent. And be consistent is the biggest fucking key.
Well, you said consistent. I feel like a lot of people nowadays are not consistent.
Right.
Because they want to try to do this instead of staying in that one category.
They overextend themselves trying to do so much stuff.
They start messing up.
Yeah, or they're doing something that they're not actually like wanting to do, and so they do it half-ass.
Yeah,
and then it's just they're like, well, I'm not succeeding because people are this or people are that. I'm like, maybe the problem is not other people. Maybe the problem is you. Maybe you're not taking the right steps. Maybe you're cheating yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking everybody else is cheating you, how are you cheating yourself? Like that. I mean, I couldn't hammer that home more than anything else in my life. Is like there's so many different things that people cheat themselves on, and being honest with yourself and the people around you is the biggest one especially nowadays with social media where you can hide behind pictures and posts and be
Filters.
fake, and filters and stuff like that. Like, that's one of the things I love about this podcast that me and Jacob do is that we put our thoughts out here every week and we say some stuff. Sometimes it's silly, sometimes it's wrong, sometimes we sound stupid, and it is what it is. We, people correct us all the time, or we say something dumb and they don't correct us, and maybe someday it'll come back to bite us. But, at the end of the day, we're not putting on a show here that's like we're in our suit and ties and we're here listening, and we're not doing something that's super artificial and outside of our lane. So, like, what may come of it, but we're not really worried about it because it's, we're being as honest as we can be in front of a camera for, everybody to drill us with questions, call us and bother us, do whatever they want, So if we say something stupid.
And Jeff Wilson to call in.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson to call in.
Guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but I've got to go.
Alrighty, man. Well, we'll wrap it up a little bit early because I do have to get on the road here.
Are we going to go ahead and end it?
We'll go ahead and end
okay.
it.
All right.
It was a little short, guys, but we do.
Sorry about this. Everybody's super busy today, but we wanted to get in here and get this knocked out.
Yeah.
And like we just covered, consistency is the main thing. So
consistency.
even though it wasn't at 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock start time, we're still here on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
We're still live. We got our shades and our hats on with Tayvis. Let's go. Thanks for tuning in, guys.